This happened just last night, Friday night. You'll be seeing this by Sunday afternoon, I presume. My mom and my uncle were out looking for new cabinets and counters for the kitchen because we have been undergoing some pretty major renovation and construction in the house as of recent, and one of the things being majorly redone is the kitchen. So I was home alone with just my cousin from Ecuador. She has been visiting us for the past few months, helping us around the house now that my grandma's gone. She is a very, very nice lady. And they came back by around, I'd say, 9 o'clock, something like that. Probably a little later, maybe 10:30, I forget exactly. But apparently the toilet was running for, I guess, a very long time. And the toilet we have in the upstairs bathroom is fucked. A lot of the times after you flush it, it just keeps running and running and running non-stop. And the only way you know when this happens is, well, one, if you just let the toilet keep running and it doesn't stop. And also, you can tell right away because whenever this happens, the knob doesn't have the usual resistance it has when you press it down. It just goes down right away, and after you press it like that, the toilet fixes itself again in like a minute. And I'm pretty good with remembering to do this. I always do this immediately after I'm done using the toilet. It has become such a fucking habit of mine to the point where when I was down in Florida, there were a few instances where I accidentally flushed my grandma's toilet twice in a row. So you catch my drift at this point. It is so ingrained in my head that it is extremely rare that I forget to do this. And I most certainly do not remember using the bathroom during that whole time my mom and my uncle were out. In fact, I remember my cousin using the bathroom instead. So when they came home and my uncle noticed this, and right away he came up to me and said, "Mikey, you forgot to stop the toilet." And this pissed me off way more than it should have, and this is partially my fault. I'll concede on that. I couldn't keep my mouth shut, and I said, "I didn't use the toilet while you were gone." And he said, "Oh, sure, you're passing the blame onto your cousin." And I'm like, fuck no, that's not what I'm doing. It's not my intention to get her in trouble or anything, or quote-unquote pass the blame on to her. It's just that she is from a different country, from a completely different home, that likely does not have a toilet that has this issue, so having to reflush the toilet after flushing it already probably isn't so ingrained in her mind, and it's not really out of the realm of possibility that she forgot to do this. It's an honest mistake that anyone who is visiting another person's house would make, but he was still not having it. He was still like, "No, you're trying to pass the blame onto her. She's the visitor, so you feel like it would be easy to pass on blame onto her for something that you did and she didn't do." And I thought this was so weird at this point. Like, is this really that big of an issue to the point where we're actually having an argument over this? And he brought up the fact that I was playing a video game to support this really weird conclusion he came to. I was playing Resident Evil 4 while they were gone. I was still playing it while this was transpiring, and he was like, "You're playing your video game, so you didn't feel like getting up and touching the knob again on the toilet to make it stop running." And I was like, why the fuck would I do that? The fucking bathroom is right by my room. It would be a 10-second process at most. Hey, look, I'll admit, I'm lazy, but I'm not that fucking lazy. Give me some credit. At that point, I was trying to drop the argument. I was telling him we're literally arguing about a fucking toilet. Do you not realize how stupid this is? But he felt personally insulted that I was quote-unquote passing blame onto her. And this may be a little embarrassing to admit, but I did feel pretty ticked off internally that his first instinct was to blame me for something that I didn't even do and don't even have a pattern of doing in the first place. But at least with me, I just wanted to make a simple correction and say, I didn't use the toilet, she did. She didn't do anything bad. I'm not trying to shift blame onto her, quote unquote. It's an honest mistake that anyone would make because she probably doesn't have a toilet with that problem and she's not used to having to press down on the knob again after already flushing the toilet. No big deal, but he decided to make this huge fucking drama fest over something so trivial and stupid, and I don't get why. And here's the thing, he's the cool uncle. He's the one that I actually like. I've made videos on my other uncle in the past. I've made my grievances known about him. He's the one that lives in the basement. It's practically like he doesn't even live here. I barely see him. He's either out somewhere or he's just in his room all day. So, whatever. But this one I see all the time, I have a bond with, so it was pretty weird to see him acting like this. And you might be saying, well, this all would have been solved if you heard the toilet running after your cousin used it and then you yourself got up and pressed down on the knob. Well, here's the thing. I was playing my game, I had the volume up pretty loud, so I didn't even know the toilet was running in the first place. I'm sorry for not checking in on my cousin to see if she flushed properly or not, because that's honestly kinda fucking weird. But at this point, my mom noticed that me and him were having the spat, and then she intervened and said we're both acting pretty idiotic over something very, very trivial and stupid, like I said earlier. And then my cousin did say that she was the one that in fact used the toilet. She apologized profusely for causing this indirectly, and I felt bad because she's really not at fault, because again, she made a mistake that anyone would make. No one should be mad at her. I wasn't mad at her, certainly. I wasn't trying to get her in trouble or pass any blame on her. I was trying to be rational and saying that, well, she made an honest mistake that anyone would make, but my uncle just didn't want to hear it for some reason. And he has always been the most rational out of everyone who lives in this house. Despite being the youngest of 4 children my grandma had, he has always been the most level-headed and mature, so I really don't know why he was acting like this last night. I don't know what the fuck crawled up his ass, but whatever it was, I hope it was just a fluke and he's back to his normal self. I didn't talk to him today. He's out currently, so I don't really have any chance to talk to him, but hopefully next time I do talk to him, it's more pleasant, and hopefully we never bring this up again, because I'd rather not continue this stupid fucking back and forth. Like, we were arguing about the fucking toilet. At least I can concede that this is stupid, but he took it so personally and so seriously. I don't know why. I have no clue. So anyways, this is probably the dumbest thing I've ever talked about on this channel. I don't give a fuck. I needed to let out some frustration. I have no one else to talk to right now, so I'm letting it all out in video form. Hopefully you enjoyed, and if you didn't, well, you just wasted 6 minutes of your life. Congratulations. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.